Put a little bit of the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.
Let's get to sports talk.
Urban Meyer, who will have a lot of options if he wants to go back into coaching, making this jump to the NFL and to that team.
Look, I mean, it's possible, Greeny, but I can tell you this. When Urban Meyer looks at jobs and things that he may want to do with his future, he first looks at the quarterback. We've seen this work well for him in the past when he started with Alex Smith, then Tim Tebow. And then, of course, at Ohio State, it was Braxton Miller who said, yeah, look, I'm going to go there and coach right then and take that job. He consults with a lot of people around him that would give him advice about, whether or not he wants to take this job. And I don't know that they would advise him to take it with Dak Prescott as the quarterback. I'm not taking anything away from Dak, but I think Urban Meyer wants maybe even a better quarterback if he were to go to the NFL. The thing about Urban, and you know this well, Paul, he would never want to go somewhere and fail. So he wants to go somewhere where he feels like he's going to have instant success and the best possible setup for that.
Well, Urban didn't like the president of the university telling him what to do last year. He's certainly not going to like Jerry Jones, and I don't know what Jerry Jones was talking about there, Greeny. First of all, you don't meet with coaches during the season. You have agents do that. Everyone knows that. And besides, I mean, you start thinking about the worst possible marriages in history, Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton go down the list. I mean, this would be worse. I mean, this would be the worst. Why would this be so bad? Because Urban Meyer and Jerry Jones would just butt heads from day one. Urban's an authoritarian figure. He runs.
Urban Meyer's one of them coaches that need the power. He want to structure his team the way he want. That's why it's going to be tough if he ever to take this Cowboys job because Jerry Jones want everything his way. He want to run the team how he want it. He basically coaching from the box. Like, talk to the media after every loss or every win, and you got to wait on it. And Urban Meyer's not the one of them coaches that's going to wait. He's one of them coaches that want to have full control of his team.
Everything. He's a detail freak, and Jerry Jones talking to the media after his first exhibition loss would drive Urban off the deep end. Jerry Jones, it was so confusing because what he actually said was, I can confirm that didn't happen, which is a remarkable way to phrase that, one way or the other. Laura, let's take the specifics of this team out of the equation. Do you see him coaching in the NFL? Based upon what Paul just said, not only does he not like hearing it from upstairs, I don't think he likes hearing it from his players who are professionals and getting paid a lot of money. If you come to could you see him in the NFL?
Look, I think the attractive thing for him about maybe coaching in the NFL is he wouldn't have to recruit, and that does wear on coaches, especially guys that have had to do that for so many years. So I could see that happening. The other thing too, and this kind of plays into what Paul said, Greeny, he wants to be the best at everything he does. He hasn't had that foray into the NFL yet. Maybe he wants to see just for his own.
If he do get this job, he got Ezekiel Elliott again. He not a use Ezekiel Elliott. He won't go away from Zeke. He will take all the pressure off of Dak. Dak might not be the best in nobody's eyes, but he's a good quarterback. It just has to do with the people around him that need to know how to use Dak. I think Urban Meyer would get the best out of him. And he know how to use Zeke. And he can take the pressure off of him and not put all the load on Dak. It just depends on if the owner will allow him to run his football team and let him coach it. And let him take care of the business.
Whatever it is, ego, I guess you could call it, if he could succeed in the NFL.
Catch me up here. Is there a huge coaching opening in college that he could take now? So he's sitting out a year if he doesn't take it. The only one that was interesting was USC, and they decided to stay with Helton. That job will probably be open a year from now, so we can revisit it then.
Okay, but he asked about the quarterback there too. I mean, back to my point, if he wants to make sure he has that type of franchise, really good quarterback wherever he goes.
And there's still a health issue. Remember, he got burned out at Florida last year. I mean, his doctor talked about health issues. And if you have a headache, Jerry Jones will send you to ICU, let alone if you have serious problems.
If you're looking for a job in the NFL, I understand wanting to have a quarterback, but what other job's going to open up where there's a quarterback that's anywhere close to this?
Well, fair. Cleveland is another job that could come open. Some people will like the... No, I hear you. He was the number one pick in the draft is my point. So some people may look at that and say, I can make him into a great quarterback. Dan Graziano, every single week I have asked you the question about the Cowboys coaching, and every single week you have said there's nothing here. Now the Urban Meyer conversation comes up specifically. What do we know?
Well, we know that if Jason Garrett doesn't make some miracle run and probably get them into the Super Bowl, that they will make a coaching change in Dallas. That's what we've been sort of reporting since training camp. So at this point, you start to see possible candidates. Now, it's not surprising to see Jerry Jones tamp this down because Garrett's still the coach, and they're still in first place. Like, they're trying to...
This team's still in first place. And only this Urban Meyer and Jerry Jones probably don't work because he like Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells. No nonsense. Let me coach this team and you just be the owner. Jerry Jones don't like that. He want everything his way. That's the main reason Jason Garrett is still the coach, because he accept that. And Urban Meyer just like Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells. He don't accept that. I'm the coach, you the owner. Let me do my job down here. And you just stay up there and just be the owner and the GM. Allow me to be able to coach this team up. And that's the only reason Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells got fired so early. Because they ain't take no nonsense, and Jerry Jones ain't like that. I run this team. I want to be in full control of it.
Win the next 3 games and get into the playoffs. So obviously it doesn't do anybody any good for anyone to think that he's out there meeting with coaching candidates. I think there's a sense around the Cowboys that there's some kind of big fish that Jerry has in mind, though I don't know who it would be. This would fit the description, but listening to some of the analysis over there, I do kind of agree. It doesn't seem to fit what Jerry tends to look for in a head coach.
Another big fish, of course, is Lincoln Riley. We're talking about college guys. There are a total of 3 coaches who've won championships on both the college level and the pro level. 2 of them are with Dallas, right? Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer, and then Pete Carroll is the other. Just the notion, RC, of a college coach, Urban Meyer, a lifelong college coach, no pro experience to my knowledge. Do you think that could work?
It could. Only if he let him coach. You see why he probably don't go get him? Because he no nonsense. He want to run the team and coach them, not have an owner try to be the coach from the press box. He want to be able to build this team how he wants. But Jay Jones is not going to allow that. Jay Jones looking for a guy that's like Jason Garrett. We'll allow that. Let him do what he wants.
On the NFL level.
You know, I think it's very difficult for guys like Urban Meyer who are control freaks, who want to not only control what goes on in his organization, but wants to control people, because we've seen, especially in this day and age of the player, players have more voice. Players step up and say things. And when I'm getting paid $10 to $20 million a year, there are certain ways you're not going to talk and address me. And so when you look at those things, I think it's going to be very difficult for Urban Meyer to get into this league.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, more analysis,